Hey there, public speakers. It's week 5. Believe it or not, we're in week 5. So that means midterm grades will be turned in on Tuesday of week 5. So you should see that. Now, if you actually are worried about it, keep in mind that the points are primarily in the last 4 weeks of the class. So if you got a grade that is lower than you expected, remember that 61.987% of the grade is still in, actually it's probably higher than, it's probably like 74.284% of the grade is in the second part of the class. So it's in the weeks 5 through 8. And there's a lot of points available. So the chance of bringing up grade is really high. This week, you will do your informative speech, and I'm looking forward to that. I've seen some very interesting topics, and some I've not seen before, so now we're going to get to have some new stuff, so that's kind of cool. You will do your informative speech, you'll do your process speech, self-evaluation, and peer evaluation. Now, if you didn't get an assigned speech, it's because either you didn't turn your speech in on time or you didn't turn one in at all. The system automatically assigns peer reviewers at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night. It looks at who else turned them in and then sorts those and sends out assignments. And so if you didn't get it, you can send me an email about it, but probably it's going to be because you didn't turn it in on time. And I can manually fix that. You will also do your audience analysis this week. Keep in mind that audience analysis is focused on your persuasive speech topic. And we do it really early so that you have time to gather the information and create your speech with the audience that you're going to talk to focused on. So you got an idea. Since the audience is this class, you've got an idea how they feel about your particular topic, what they know, what they don't know, all of that kind of stuff. And the purpose is to work that into your speech. So we do it early. So you'll create the audience analysis. You will put it in the discussion board that it's marked. There's a link in the assignment for it. But you will all have to remember, and I'll put out reminders too, but you will all have to remember to go in and do each other's audience analysis surveys. You also want to make those as a hyperlink. Don't just post a link in there if it not being a hyperlink, because some people really have trouble getting over to actually filling it out, and some people just look at that and ignore it. So make it a hyperlink. You can do that in the assignment box when you turn your assignment in. You're also going to do a video analysis of an informative speech. It's one that, if you watched the thing I put up about informative speeches, you have already seen. I can tell you right now, this is Friday afternoon, nobody's watched that so far. So I know that none of you have looked at this speech. Now, of course, that could change over the weekend, but it's looking pretty sure like 0.00% of the class has watched the informative speech discussion that I put up. But you'll see it's the same video from within that. But it's a very good informative speech. It's from a speaker who was in a informative speech contest. And it's a pretty good example. There's a lot of things that are good about it. There are some things that are bad about it. So it gives you the ability to analyze the speech, knowing what we've learned so far. You'll also, in the discussion board, there's 2 examples to discuss credibility of the sources. And in the work that you're going to read about this week, you're going to learn about how to find good research, how to cite your sources, how to determine good sources from bad sources. With the internet, there are so many sources of bad information, misinformation, sponsored information, skewed information. Those aren't the kind of sites you want to use for your informative speeches. And that discussion board simply goes in and gives you a couple of possible sources, and you evaluate whether you think they're good or not. And then, of course, there's also the quiz. For those of you that are actually watching this, and I know that that's a relatively low percentage, if you watched last week, then you were aware that there was an extra credit opportunity. That, of course, has now closed. It was open for week 4 only. And I can tell you right now, as of Friday afternoon, no one in this class has gotten extra credit because no one watched the video for week 4. So since no one watched the video in week 4, and there was a thing in there about getting extra credit, that's now closed. And I'm pretty sure none of you are going to be aware of that because you're not watching this one either. But I did want to mention it just in the outside chance that you do watch it. And then also to help you with the audience analysis thing, last week, about midweek, I did, since I noticed nobody was paying attention to the informative speech lecture, I put another one in for everybody to not pay attention to about audience analysis. It has a very good example of audience analysis. It's a video of a speech that former First Lady Barbara Bush gave in 1990, and it shows how she used audience analysis to win over an audience who was ahead of the speech very opposed to her. And it talks about the audience's opposition to her. It's a commencement speech. The college did not want her there. The students protested, in fact, that she was even going to be there. And by the end of her speech, she got standing ovation. She had won that crowd over. And she did it by using audience analysis information really well and working that into her speech. So that example's in that discussion, but, like I said, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to watch that. That's it for this week. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, get me on virtual office hours, and I'm looking forward to your informative speeches. I'll see you later.